And welcome to I Might Be Late on Monday. It's Tuesday. I'm live at 1-800 Bad Pain Studios right before the Gorilla Boys podcast. But I'm back tonight when I might be late on Monday. I wasn't able to catch y'all. It's been a rough week. But tonight I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to talk about Shedeur Sanders. Like everybody else talking about Shedeur Sanders. And the reason why I want to talk about Shedeur Sanders is because I was watching ESPN the other day. And so, like a quick recap of Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, played for Colorado, played for Jackson State, went to Colorado with his dad, played for Colorado, not Colorado State, Colorado University of Colorado, and was projected to be a number 3 pick in the draft. One of the first, either the first or second quarterbacks taken, end up slipping all the way out of the first round, out of the second round, out of the third round, all the way to the fifth round. Right. Adam Schefter had him at I think 2 or 3, and Adam Schefter has never had somebody listed at 2 or 3 that has slipped out, that even slipped out of the first round, let alone the fifth round. Right. So we already knew that the fix was in. But of course, you're not allowed to say that. But the fix was in. Everybody knew the fix was in. I think Eric Dickerson came out just a couple of days ago to say that he got it from Eric Dickerson is an NFL great Hall of Famer. Say, hey, I heard that the NFL saying we weren't not going to draft Shedeur. We're going to teach him a lesson. He's too cocky. Didn't have any like brushes with the law or like behavior issues. They just didn't like that he was super confident, cocky, Deion Sanders, and he ended up slipping out and ended up finally getting drafted, right? Which is cool. And I ain't take a rocket science to see that the fix was in. Fix was in at that time. So you had all the talking head. You had most of the talking heads would say had all these other reasons why he slipped to the fifth round. It was inexplicable. Nobody could really explain why. And Stephen A. Smith was one of the few guys who were saying like, yeah, this is an outrage, and I can't believe this is happening, and it's because they didn't like Deion. And he was just saying the obvious thing for once in the last couple of years, since Stephen A. has been like the face of ESPN, and he was the corporate company man. He was actually saying like truthful stuff and not like being the corporate talking piece, which of course we should have known that wasn't gonna last long. So he was one of the highest voices saying, "Hey man, these guys ain't." He said, the ones who saying these guys ain't the one who they're trying to teach him a lesson, and he was the one speaking loud and clear about that incident. So people who have been following Shedeur's short professional career, like doing the preseason and that kind of stuff, being a fifth round pick. For people who don't know, once you get drafted to the NFL, if you're a fifth round pick, sixth round, seventh round pick, sometimes even fourth round pick, it doesn't mean that you automatically have a roster spot. You can actually be cut and waived, just like high school football. You can get cut, waived. You the fifth string, right? So he's essentially fighting for his job and trying to get a job, trying to get a job in the NFL with Cleveland. With the Cleveland Browns is the guys who drafted him at the fifth round pick. So what happens is if you believe that Shedeur Sanders is being like blackballed or being like sabotaged, uh, and that he's rightfully should have been drafted top 3, which most people do. It was a relatively weak draft, and he was one of the top quarterbacks. One of his quarterback awards through 70% of his pass completions in college football. Was didn't turn the ball over very much. Took a lot of sacks, but that was because he was behind an O line that wasn't very good for the majority of his college career. But anyway, what happens when you what happens if the NFL conspire to kind of sabotage this kid's interest into the NFL? What happens is you find yourself in a position like Cleveland where you have where you drafted a quarterback ahead of him, which is like a 5'9", 5'10" quarterback, which is normally doesn't bode very well in the NFL, and just not as good as Shedeur. And then you have an old veteran of 40, 44-year-old, 42-year-old Joe Flacco, and then the other two guys are pretty much irrelevant. You got the Pickett kid who's had his chance at the NFL and wasn't very good. So you have players who that Shedeur is either better than now or will be better than, who he's sitting behind, and he has the big name, like, it's like the Tebow thing when Tebow came in. Tebow had the celebrity name. So now what you do is when you draft the celebrity name, especially when you draft them and you don't draft him to start or play, or he's fighting for a spot, you put yourself in this position where his name is gonna always be brought up, good or bad, whatever happens. And that's what Cleveland found himself in during this preseason. And then you see you have Shedeur Sanders always mentioned, always brought up. And so what happened is he had, when he did finally got a chance to start, he played well in the preseason. Didn't have soreness, and then the last preseason game, I think they only played like three. I think they played 3 or 4 preseason games. But this last preseason game, he didn't play very well, and it looked like he was being set up to fail because he had limited time, and he was playing with guys who are going to be working at Amazon next week. Like, everybody that he was playing with on that offensive rep was like 5th stringers, 6th stringers who were fighting to make the team, who will not make the team. So he's standing behind the line of people who were not going to be NFL players. And he had a bad showing. He got sacked, I think, 5 times, fumbled, and all of a sudden, you don't have to talk about Shedeur anymore. He had a bad game. And so then the talk, of course, people with eyes and people who know what's going on is going to say, hey, man, I think he's being sabotaged. And something weird happened after that I end up watching ESPN, and this conversation came up, is Shedeur being sabotaged? And Stephen A., being the company guy he is, did a complete about face and said, oh, that's crazy. Why would you guys say that? Why would you say he was being sabotaged? Completely different narrative than a narrative that he helped perpetuate when he was saying, hey, they not giving Shedeur a first shot. He should have been drafted first round. Now all of a sudden, it's crazy to think that his career will be sabotaged, which I don't expect anything less from Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is the guy who said when he wakes up in the morning, he thinks about how he can make his bosses the most money he possibly can, and then how he can get some of it. That's Stephen A.'s model. And of course, for people who don't know, the NFL and ESPN are business partners. They're in cahoots. So I guess not even I guess, I'm pretty sure that NFL made that call to the ESPN about the sabotage talk and the Shedeur talk, and they found a way to neutralize that talk, or at least not even neutralize, because now the thing with media, you have people who can broadcast themselves, like even me, like when I'm broadcasting myself today, you can broadcast yourself, and you can say your own opinion, and media isn't limited to what's being broadcast on linear television. So even if you do construct a whole like premise of where you try to switch the narrative, people have eyes, people have their own voices, their own talking heads to be able to say whatever they want to say. Clearly, this kid, they're attempting to sabotage or to quell some of the voices about Shedeur Sanders, because there is really no explanation for him to slip to the 5th round. If he slipped in the first round, if he slipped in the second round, we say, hey man, nah, it's no even way to really even quantify that to make sense, because it just doesn't make sense. Now, with all that being said, the story is more ESPN and more Stephen A. Smith and more of what sports media has become. The sports media has become this it's become more entertainment than it's been sports. You know, of course, Stephen A., one of the pioneers of like debate sports television, and he created this whole genre that every sports network or podcast has become like a debate podcast and entertainment, and less sports. When I did terrestrial radio for a couple years, and then ended up doing a couple spots, ESPN radio in Orlando. That ESPN radio. I used to do a show. I won't say the name of the show, but obviously it was a sports show because it was on ESPN radio. And the host of the sports show and everybody who was on the sports show didn't watch sports, but it was a whole sports show and they talked about sports. That's what we did. So when I was so and that experience taught me a lot about how sports media works, or just media in general on a large scale. Is like you don't have to be an expert on the genre that you cover. You just have to be a good journalist or broadcaster. And Stephen A. Smith is a great example of that. And ESPN's become a farmhouse for entertainment journalism with a backdrop of sports. And hyperbolic conversations. Oh, I'm back. Somebody was interrupting me, but sports television has become like these hyperbolic conversations about like who's the best player of all time, who's better, who's number one, who's number two, who's number three. If Michael Jordan played Wilt Chamberlain, who would win? Like these conversations that no longer become about sports and more so have become like these hyperbolic conversations or argue and debate conversations that have nothing to do with sports, and it's just entertainment to the point where it's no longer entertainment when everybody's doing the same thing. And what happens is when you veer so far away from uh, the sports backdrop or really what we're here to talk about in most cases is it becomes oversaturated and they run out of things to talk about. And not only do they run out of things to talk about, the actual stories that are true or that are dear to the conversation, they no longer have truth or honesty in it. So you're not able to say, hey man, Shedeur is getting sabotaged because you work for a company that's in business with the NFL, and the NFL don't want you to talk about sabotage or talk about any shady dealings when it's clear that this kid ain't getting the fair shot. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think that's what's becoming a problem with linear television and all these old concepts and ideas, uh, from like Howard Stern and all these things that of these old oligarchs of entertainment are kind of becoming a thing of the past because now we have direct access to broadcast ourselves and create our own narratives, have real conversations, honest conversations about whatever's going on, and we don't have to like acquiesce or like dance around or tap dance for sponsors or companies that we're in cahoots with, and there's some like integrity. So this particular and Stephen A's been tap dancing for a while. uh, You know, whether it's sitting down with Jerry Jones, as Jerry Jones is being like a senile tyrant, but he's like dancing and laughing at all the jokes and just being like a giggly schoolgirl, which is what they pay Stephen A to do. Which I don't think I can necessarily knock him for it, but kind of just is what it is. But that's but watching the coverage of Shador seeing like a complete 180 from one narrative to the next, from one day to the next, was a humorous thing to see, especially like with Stephen A. leading the charge. Like when somebody just makes a complete about face where it's obvious that somebody put a call in and say, "Hey, you can't talk about shit like that," which is clearly what happened in that situation. I just thought it was humorous, thought it was funny. I thought it was an interesting, um, it was an interesting like preamble to what's to come in sports media and just media in general. The more that we are able to broadcast stuff, and the more that we can see things for ourselves, and we no longer need uh, a media platform to push a narrative to sell a product, which is what sports media essentially was, which is why the number the top four sports sports in America have pushed to multi-billion-dollar earnings, and now everybody getting $300 million deals and $500 million deals. It was based on creating storylines and the stories to build that product. But now too much of something is always could always be oversaturated. And so that was just funny. And so I thought I'd start. I might be late on Monday with Stephen A. Smith, but I'm here at the 100 Bad Pain Studios right before we film Gorilla Boys. Got Cisco gearing up. Cisco, what you got for the week?
For the week?
Yeah.
I'm on my Halloween shit now already.
It's Halloween. What's that? Wait. It's August. You on Halloween in August?
Yeah.
You're not the only one too, because there's a lot of people who got Halloween shit. They got Halloween decorations and shit already.
I'm going to Screamageddon. You ever heard of Screamageddon?
No, where's that at?
Out near fuck man, near Plant City.
Screamageddon. What is it?
Screamageddon.
What is it though?
It's like Halloween Horror Nights, but it's more like severe.
It's on somebody's property or
Yeah,
something?
it's on someone's property. It's this huge thing though. It's last year they had like you can go on this bus and they give you like paintball guns. You just fucking shooting the zombies that are.
Oh, I could do that then.
You know what I mean? It's like in more Halloween shit that it's interactive.
When is that?
Well, I'm going on Friday for like a media sneak peek before they open.
Oh, damn! You got like a free media pad? Damn.
Yeah, I'm important.
Yeah, you are. You are. Shit, I never even heard of that. Screamageddon, man. And man, I was. That's it's funny, man. People are they have like their tombstones out and their skeletons out already, man.
Red, man, people are done with the summer this year.
Yeah, this was a fucking hot summer, dog.
People are done, man. They're ready for the Halloween for
Some other like news, man. What else is in the news?
You saw Donald Trump's hand is bruised.
Yeah. Okay. So they had Donald Trump, and they showed his like bruised hand, and it was like a heading like, oh, his skin is reptilian. He's showing like he's like a reptilian. You said I think Jolene had showed that where it's like, oh, if somebody else had a reptilian hand, it'd be all over the news. But it really was just like, we got to remember Donald Trump's like an 80-year-old white man. And so like like when white people get old, they bruise easy and they have like that little blood. They have like the little blood clotting in their hands. Not blood clotting, but it's like their whole the blood's inside their skin and shit, and it looks nasty. So that's what Donald Trump got, like the little blood clot thing where it look in that picture they made it look like he was reptilian, but it just looks like an old white person's hand.
Yeah.
Why does white people like hands do that? Whereas when they bruise, I've never seen that in a black person.
Well, you can because y'all are black.
That's true. But they be so brittle, like.
You get old, bro. He's 8. He's like damn near 8.
Yeah, he like 77.
Yeah.
How old is he? That's correct. And you don't even realize that Donald Trump's like 77 too, though. Because he's like white old and he looked that same way for like 10 years.
You can talk about Taylor Swift got engaged.
Taylor Swift got engaged. Okay, Taylor Swift got engaged to Travis Kelce. Speaking of NFL, so look. So I saw this online too. Travis Kelce, he was dating Taylor Swift. They just got engaged, right? Travis Kelce is a tight end that plays for the Chiefs. So anybody watches, obviously they tap their for Shedeur, so you guys know who Travis Kelce is. Travis Kelce used to date a black chick. I forget her name, whatever. I forget the black chick's name, right?
Everybody did.
But she's fine. Though. But somebody put up a picture of like all her like sexy pictures and shit. And they like Travis Kelce left Taylor Swift for this, left her for Taylor Swift. Yo, Taylor Swift's a billionaire. I think the billion kind of like adds to her sexiness to me. I don't know. Am I wrong? if you meet a new girl and you see and she's a billionaire, it doesn't matter what your ex girlfriend look like.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Like, come on, like, and
I'll do whatever.
yeah, Travis Kelsey's like he's the white ASAP Rocky, man. That's the thing now too. Get you a young billionaire, dog, and settle down.
He's the white.
He's the white ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, that's true.
And not only that, yo, Taylor Swift. Like, cause I was watching his podcast with his brother, and they had Taylor Swift on like last week. And Taylor Swift is like she's one of those kind of girls where she becomes whatever the guy she's dating is about.
Yeah.
So now she's like a diehard football fan that chugs beers, crush the cans in her head.
Black women, man, they'll acquiesce to you.
Not even black women do that. It's women who they become whoever the guy that they're fucking at the time. That's who they become. If he's in the anime, she's in the anime now. And then when she break up with him and she get with this guy, he's in the pool, she's in the pool. She breaks up with this guy, he's into learning Spanish. She is a diehard Spanish speaking Rosetta Stone peddling. That's who Taylor Swift is. So not only is she a billionaire, but she one of those women like she gonna try to be in tune. She gonna try to be in tune with whatever you got going on. So like, cheers to Travis Kelsey. You got you a white Nubian goddess with a billion she probably got like a couple. Well, we'll say $1 billion. She just got her publishing. No, not publishing. She just got her master's back. So now the sky's the limit. And you know Travis Kelsey about to retire. This probably his last year. So
he's gonna ball out this year because he just got engaged. He's like his podcast is uber.
Yeah, like what's 100 million? They got like $100 million deal.
They're killing it. So like they're saying this year
he got to ball out.
He's gonna have to ball out.
He got to ball out. But the good thing is when you marry a woman who got more money than you really don't. You really don't have to ball out.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
He's been on a winning streak in his fucking life.
Yeah, like life's too good, man. It's only been one person where life was going that great, and then they still won. That's Tom Brady. But even at the end, his wife left him. So like, I don't know, man. Kelsey Sap Rocky. Good luck to you, man. You got you a white queen. You stick beside her, bro. You stick beside her. I wish you would have stayed black, but hey, and also I can't put it all on Taylor either because Travis Kelsey is one of the bitches too, who becomes whoever he's dating. Because when he was with the black chick, he had a Boosie fade, and he had earrings. He was black. He had a black scent, all that shit. He got with Taylor Swift. He got a crew cut and a pickup truck. He got whiter than white. He started saying white shit. He was like tubular and that's rad. They belong with each other. They belong together, man. So shout out to Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey, get married, and then. What's the kid that used to Travis Kelsey's old teammate, man? He just announced he's getting a divorce. What was his name? The wide receiver. Damn, what's the wide receiver? He just had a bunch of babies in the same year. He plays in Miami. Damn, his name slipped. He slipped my fucking mind. People in the comments, what's the guy who just got a divorce, man? But anyway, so Travis Kelsey just announced he's engaged. His ex-teammate in Miami. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's wife just filed for divorce after 17 months. And so shit, hey, Tyreek, you should have got you a Taylor Swift, man. You know what though? When you just get new money, don't get married.
Order to pay his wife $500,000.
$500,000 a month or just $500 a lump sum?
Order to pay shockingly monthly sums.
Damn, Tyreek Hill, and that's just on the separation. He
$20,000 to $50,000 every month.
$20,000 to $50,000 a month and $500,000 lump sum up front. 17 a month.
Received a $500,000 check earlier in the summer. $100,000 towards a new car, and a substantial $457,000 to cover her. Bro,
Damn, 17 months.
17 months?
In 17
That judge must
that's crazy.
hate him or something.
It's in Florida too, man. They don't care about you.
Bro,
$500,000. So Tyreek Hill,
he's gonna die.
he was married for 17 months. She filed for divorce. The divorce not final yet, but she has already been ordered to pay $500,000 lump sum up front, $20,000 to $50,000 a month, $100,000 to buy a new car. He has to maintain the mansion that she lives in, that they lived in together. So he got to move out of his house after 17 months. That's fucking nut. Yo, let me tell you something, man. Now, don't get me wrong. When being married, if you make a lot of money and you're so people always be like, yo, why would you get married if you're a millionaire? So when you make a lot of money and you have potential to make more money, it does look good in negotiations and just in general to be married. It does look better to be married and to be together with someone, right? To show that you have family stability. It's clean cut appeal.
Most millionaires.
Most millionaires are married. Most millionaires are married. That's a fact. Most millionaires are married, and so do get married
And go to church.
and go to church. So that's why like you will never have a president that isn't married. We'll never have a president that doesn't go to church or pretends to go to church or that kind of thing. So I won't say don't get married, but what I will say is if you gonna get married, don't go get women pregnant. Like if you being unfaithful and you don't be sloppy. Like don't be sloppy and married. And that's even if you broke. If you poor, don't be sloppy and married. But if you got some money and something to lose, don't be sloppy and married. Like, cause Tyreek Hill had like 2, 3 kids in 1 year, and not from his wife. So now he already done came out of the pocket for $1 million. They're not even divorced. Granted, people will say, "Oh man, but he got money and he got this contract." Yo, $1 million is a lot of money to be coughing up. I don't care how much money you got in the bank, especially when it could have been avoided by just not being sloppy. So if you gonna get married, be smart. If you're young, you just start coming into money, you know you're not gonna be ready to be married, don't get married. It's and don't get me wrong, man. I understand the dynamic of you come into a lot of money, you're free, you're young, you feel invincible, you feel like nothing's gonna happen to you, you can't die. I understand. I've been young, never been a millionaire, but I've been young and I felt like the world was my oyster. But at some point you have to be smart because you're gonna find yourself in a position where you coughing up some money from being married to somebody for 17 months. You already got a bunch of child support. Well, any other news?
I mean those were the big ones that I saw today.
Those are big. So what we learned today, man, is wrap it up in all regards. Sports media, let's take a turn, do something different. We don't have to. Let's reinvent the wheel now because we've already done this salacious bullshit media. Let's try something new. If you got something to lose, act like it. It's Tuesday. I see y'all next week on I Might Be Late on Monday. Check us out on Gorilla Boys Podcast. On this channel, you can just scroll down and see all the podcasts that I'm associated with. And just click on one, check us out, see what we got going on. A lot more things to come too, man. I've been I Might Be Late on Monday. Thank you for the people that's on us on live right now. Lock in the comments, tell me what you think. Subscribe, comment, share. And until next time, I'll see y'all.